Welcome to the Publish It Now blog for May 2016. I often get asked by authors, how many books should I print? My first answer is always, well, what do you want to do with them? If you want to use your books for a lead magnet, for example, you actually want to keep your costs down as much as possible to access a better cost per lead. This means printing a larger number of them, whether this is 500, 1,000, or even more. We had a client last year who wanted 2,000 copies of her book, and so we organised a continuous supply arrangement where we sent her 500 copies every 2 months, so she could get out there, use the book as a lead magnet, use up some of the copies, and we restock her supply. She was able to access some of the better costs of printing more copies, while we were able to spread the work out. Additionally, having more copies on hand for when you're doing lead magnets is a great way to make sure you just don't run out. So for example, if you were to hand out the book at a conference, having 400, 500 copies on hand for a large conference means that you can just give them out. You don't have to worry about running out and then having to take names in order to send out a copy in the post, which will cost you more. So for using your book as a lead magnet or even a tripwire, you want to keep that cost per copy as low as possible. However, if you're looking to sell your book, so whether that's as a part of like a tripwire or even a small purchase on your website, or even if you're an author who's just starting out, often a lower volume is a much better proposition. Whilst this may cost a bit more per copy, you often will need to start small. The amount of capital needed to purchase 100 or 250 books is significantly lower than the capital needed to purchase 1,000. So take, for example, if you're purchasing 100 copies of your book at $10 per copy, you'd only need $1,000. While if you were purchasing 1,000 copies at $4 or $5 a copy, you'd need $4,000 to $5,000 for that. By only purchasing a small number to start out with, it gives you a chance to test the market. You can get your book out there as soon as possible without needing to save up a large amount of capital and have that locked up in a large amount of books. And if it doesn't work, your capital is not spread as thin. You don't have as much tied up in inventory that you need to move. What a lot of authors do is they'll start small, 100 or 250 copies, and they'll work hard at selling those copies, and then use the profit generated from those copies to buy another run, maybe even more. Say, for example, if you were to sell 250 copies that cost you $7.50 each, and you were selling it for $20, you'd make $12.50 per copy. Then you could turn around and get a run of 500 and access those cheaper costs per copy, enabling you to get it out at a discount or into more hands, maybe even negotiate a better price for the bookshops so they encourage them to sell your books. The good thing about a small quantity as well is the production time is quite quick. So say you started with 100 copies and you sold out like that. You're able to order another 250 copies and we're still able to produce those very quickly for you. So the gap between having very few copies and being restocked is very small. So at the end of the day, the number of copies that you should print comes down to how much capital you have and how much you want tied up in books. If it's something that you know is going to build your business and build your brand, and you know that you're going to be able to move a lot of copies quickly, then going out there and getting a large number of copies is going to be to your advantage, as your cost per lead will be less. However, selling your book is often a little bit harder, and having less copies on hand, you don't have to worry about as much storage space or about having a large amount of capital tied up in book inventory for a long period of time. So a lower quantity is needed. I hope this has helped you. If you have any questions about printing your book or about print production, please feel free to give us a call on 1300 300 526 or send me an email at info@publishitnow.com.au. I look forward to talking to you. Have a great day.